Alright, I forgot to tell you to make the picture. So we're going to do an insert, screenshot. There's my example of me doing this correctly. Now, if you're not used to Word document, I don't like how it breaks that up. So you can click in front of the D and hit insert page break. And what that will do is it'll drop that down to the next line so that this will be related to this picture, like these are. Oh, see, I don't, see this one here? I'll probably go here, insert a page break, and these two pictures are related to this one. And then I don't need this page break anymore, so I can click here, whoops. I could just hit the back button and it will remove the page break. So see, if I click here and I hit the back button, it removes that page break and lets me slide that up so I can have two pictures on one page. Okay, so the last thing we're going to learn is demo on constraints. The last thing you're going to do, or the next exercise, is you'll learn how to constrain the profile. Just to give you a little concept of what I'm talking about, we're going to modify this sketch by double clicking on the sketch. We created a constraint for that 1/2 inch diameter. I'm going to go to sketch and go back to constraint. I'm going to select the bottom line, move this down here. A lot of times in design we create something and then it has some weird number, and if I were in production and I had to make this, I would be wondering, why did you make it 47888? Why couldn't you just made it 4 3/4? So as you're designing parts, I recommend that you make them nice even numbers. In this case, I just changed it to 4. Select OK. Again, I created a constraint, selected this and moved it over, and I click a position. It wants you to change the value, so I type in 2 and hit enter, or gives you an option to change the value. And you'll notice when I double click the part body to exit the sketch workbench, the part is now 4 inches by 2 inches. But that hole here doesn't look centered. All I did was change the diameter of the hole to actually change the location of the hole, open the part body, and double click what? Double click sketch 1, and what we need is a constraint from this line here to the center point. Now, I always have a hard time when I try and grab that point. A lot of times it misses. All right, I'll just slide this up here, and I want to make that 2 inches, so I'll click a position and it'll let me type in 2 to change that value, and it is now centered. But I want another constraint, and honestly I usually try and find that center point. I wait for it to say point, and then it's easier for me to grab the bottom line. I'll slide this one over here. 1/2 of 2 is 1, so I just type in 1, and now I've got that circle centered. We can go back and exit the sketch workbench. You see it automatically fixed the part. Double click the sketch. The final demo to your sketch stuff is showing these constraints. I'm going to take this one step further. I don't know if I should be doing this or not, but we're going to. This line here needs to be anchored. And the reason why this line turned green, it tells me it's fully constrained. This here H is over constrained. So it needs to be removed because that parallelism no longer matters, because this is a fixed element which is represented by an anchor, which in design terms is called our datums. So this is the fixed edge that can't move. It goes up and down from the top, and it goes from right to left from this side here, and this side does not move. So therefore it's a datum as well. So see how that H is highlighted in red? We don't want that. So I think an easier technique is to grab this line here, go over to Sketch tab, hit the down arrow, and grab the second one down, which is the dialog box. This will allow you to turn off the vertical and turn on the fix at the same time. So when I click on this, I can just hit fix and remove the vertical. That's gone. Select OK. Again, I can select this line, hit the dialog box, turn off horizontal, and select OK. And that's the proper technique. Okay. I'm going to hit Control Z to undo those steps and show you an easier way to do that. Double click my sketch one. I hit undo one too many times. What we're going to do is I'm going to use the control button and I'm going to grab datum A first and then datum B, and then don't use this anchor. Go to the second one, which is the dialog box, which it remains there until you change it to a different one. I use a dialog box. I can remove the horizontal vertical at the same time and apply fix at the same time to both of them. The reason why this turned green is it's fully constrained. And I'm going to go verify this, and I'm going to hit sketch, solve. If this says constrained, you now have a part that is ready to be built. If it's not fully constrained, it is not done correctly. You have to have all the constraints. You'll still be able to make the solid, but you need it fully constrained so that you can modify this solid to whatever size and shape you need. So this is what I'm looking for here. I want to get a picture of that. Open that up. I want you to also rename this. This is good practice. I gotta say, I gotta turn this off though. Rename this datum, and that's got to be under feature property where it says fix 11. You're going to change fix 11 to datum A. So type in datum A. I use the up arrow because I've typed that in before. If you've typed in this before, you can use the up arrow and remember what you typed in. So it's datum dash A dash. You see how it changed that in the tree? Again, you're going to contextual menu on that and go to the properties. And I'm going to hit the up arrows until I see that datum A come up or datum B. So there's datum B. I'll say OK or enter. And it's changed those to datum A and B. We're going to go to analysis. I'm going to verify that it's a closed profile. I know that I've got a good solid now. So that's what I'm looking for in my picture. I'm just going to remove the action pad. Honestly, it's a little bit easier for me to see if you do a snapshot of that. But you can also, I should be able to see it, I think, if you just go to screenshot and click on this one. But just to make it easier to see, if you hit screen clip this so that I can see the specification tree matches my specification tree. Just to make it look good here. I want that specification tree open so I can see you rename datums A and B, and I want that constraint to show up. So when I go to my Word doc, what I'm looking for is down here is your datums. Sometimes it shifts it up here, and I'm also looking to show that this is completely constrained. That concludes our exercises on things to know about the Sketerworkbench. Now that we know how to manipulate the Sketerworkbench, we can start making more solids.